Hi guys, it's Maggie
and Emma,
and we're so excited to introduce you guys to our new podcast. If you aren't familiar with us, we are sisters, and I, Maggie, am 25. I'm turning 26 next month.
And I just turned 21.
And we're 5 years apart. We do YouTube together. We live in Boston. If you are familiar with our life and our vlogs, then welcome. We're so excited to have you guys listening to the podcast and just really excited to see what comes from this. I don't know, it's just something we've been talking about doing for such a long time that I'm so excited that we're finally doing it. So to start off, I guess we can just get right into
why we chose the name and the name of it.
Yeah. So as you guys already can see, the name of our podcast is Love You Bye. And we just chose that. Honestly, we were at dinner one night with our best friend, Graydon. And that's just kind of been a saying that we've had in our friend group for a really long time. Whenever we're texting in our group chat, we always will just text each other and be like, love you, bye. We've been saying it for years, 2 years.
We'll send jokes to each other and say, okay, love you, bye.
Yeah. And it's just kind of a thing that we've had in our friend group. So we were like, we want to make the name of our podcast be something that funny and kind of meaningful to us. And then also I feel we started saying it on YouTube too, and then people started commenting it. So it's just been kind of a little community thing. And we were like, wait, this is fun and playful. That's how we came up with a name, over sushi and martinis.
Graydon.
With Graydon.
Basically what we're going to talk about on the podcast is everything you guys don't really see on our YouTube channels. If you don't know that already, we both have YouTube channels and we do other social media like Instagram and TikTok, but this is going to be a little bit more of a deep dive into our life and talking about stuff that we don't normally ramble about in our videos.
Yeah, I feel it's going to be just very authentic and real and raw. I hate that word, but it is, because I feel doing social media, YouTube in particular, for 5 years,
you only see so much of our personality.
Exactly. And I feel there's only so much you can talk about in front of the camera, because I feel YouTube is obviously such a visual thing since it's on video. So we're mainly showing our routines, what we do during the day, what we wear, our workouts, stuff like that.
And
we don't
talk.
Yeah, we don't sit down and ever just chat. So I feel this will also be more of an inside look to our personal life too. A lot of experiences that we've went through, things like that. Mm-hmm. Things that we literally never talk about on YouTube. We were we need to make this completely different than our YouTube content, because, well, at least for me, and I know for you, a lot of the time when we talk to our friends and even people in the social media world, a lot of our friends when we're on trips and stuff, they're you are so different when you turn the camera off. Not in a bad way, not that you're not real and you don't act like yourself.
We just have so much to share.
It's the weirdest thing when you have a camera in front of you and you have to you have a persona. Almost. Yes, it filters you. I'm just excited to be able to sit down unfiltered with the mic and just talk and chat about life.
Everything. Because we have so many stories. So I'm really excited to have you guys along for the ride.
Buckle up, because it's about to get really crazy. Okay, so I guess to start off the first episode,
each week we're going to have topics too.
Yeah.
Each week we're going to have different topics, and this week's topic is kind of just getting to know us.
Yeah, just talking about how we got started on social media, a lot of the stuff that we've gone through together, because we both started at the same time, fall 2017, which is now 5 years ago, which is so crazy to think about. 5 years is a significant amount of time. That's longer than you were in high school, longer than you were in college. So this has been a journey, and we just kind of want to open up about what it's been for us and talk about all of that. And every week we're going to have a different topic, just to let you guys know what you can expect from us on the podcast. And we have all of our topics kind of picked out already. We've been talking about it for a while. So you can follow us over on Instagram at Maggie McDonald, at Emma McDonald. We also will have all the information in the description of this podcast, but we will have a question box where you guys can ask questions about the topics we're talking about, just to give you guys a little overview of what to expect. Yeah, how we got started with social media 5 years ago, fall 2017. I was a junior in college when I started, and I just felt I wanted to do something different. I had played sports my whole entire life for as long as I can remember. I was an ice hockey player, and I played competitively until my senior year of high school. And I won the state championship with my high school team, and I won the national championship. Like, I just did a lot of things and hit a lot of milestones, and honestly reached a lot of my goals that I had for myself with hockey. And I was really proud of that. So when I was choosing where I wanted to go to college and what I wanted to do, sports was definitely something that I wanted to stop doing. And I didn't really want to base my college decision on that, since I had already spent so much time of my life focusing on that. I really wanted to do something else. And so I went off to college, and I went to Bridgewater State University. It's like a really small state school in Massachusetts, like 45 minutes outside of Boston. And I was going to class 5 days a week for marketing, and I would literally sit in my class and I would go on Tumblr all day long, and I would just be like on Pinterest and saving stuff about fashion. And I had a like small following on Tumblr, and I would always get questions from people about like outfit ideas and just things to do with fashion. And I was like, you know what, why am I sitting behind the computer for hours a day answering questions? I want to like be able to talk about this because I have so much to say and so much to show that I should just start a YouTube channel. So that's how I started. I just started posting in my bedroom at my apartment.
I started when I was a junior in high school, and I had no idea what I was going to do with my life. Like, I obviously was still in high school. Same thing, playing sports. I played ice hockey and field hockey, but I quit both of them my junior year because I wanted to pursue social media. I grew on Instagram first, and I had like a couple thousand followers, and they were all like, start a YouTube channel. So then I started when I've always wanted to. I followed like so many people growing up, like way back when like Mac Barbie 07 and like all those really like older YouTubers that first started out were like the big like makeup gurus. I'd always wanted to do something like that. So then I finally started in high school, and it like just kind of took off, and I realized like that's what I wanted to focus on, and school wasn't necessarily like going to college wasn't in the picture for me because I wanted to fully put my all into social media and see where I could go with it. And I'm so glad that I did that. I don't regret a second of it because I like have had so many amazing life experiences just doing social media and like working for myself and creating this job. It was so cool, and it still is so cool. So I graduated high school and just didn't go to...
Yeah, what did you do literally the day after you graduated?
No, the day I graduated high school, I left. The day I graduated high school, we got in the car, we went to dinner with our brother. I went home and I packed up my stuff and I left. And I just moved to Boston. I just literally said bye. And like I was like...
You came to my apartment, and then I think we got on a flight the next...
We were supposed to we were going on a brand trip to LA.
Yeah, we went for 2 days to LA. We flew back, and then literally the next day, I remember we were like going to do a workout in the gym at my first apartment I ever lived in Boston, and we were like, wait,
we want to live together. It's so fun.
We were like, this is so fun. Imagine if this was our life every day. We walked right downstairs to the leasing office, and we go, hi, we just want to know, like, is there any 2-bedroom apartments available? The guy goes, yeah,
there's one.
There's one
on your floor.
On the exact floor you live on. I lived on the 15th floor, and we were like, perfect.
We went back to Maggie's apartment, and we pushed all her stuff down the hall into our new apartment, and ever since then, we've just lived together and created content together and did our thing.
Yeah, I feel like since then, everything just fell into place, and it's been so spontaneous, so fun. And that was 2019.
We just took the opportunity and ran with it.
I finished college. Well, no,
Yeah, you did.
I graduated college, but I left my school my senior year, and I moved to Boston because it just was like a necessary thing for me to do in order to really focus on my job and stuff like that. Like, we can get into that in a different episode, but basically I was commuting to school, and that allowed Emma and I to just have a lot of time together. I scheduled my classes like 2 days a week, so I would only be there obviously for 2 days, and then the other days we would travel together, we would make content. We also lived in the same apartment building as our friend Arlen, and we kind of had like a little like Boston,
and our friend
like
Gretchen lived across the street.
Yeah, and our friend Gretchen lived right across the street, so we lived in just like, we had like a little area where we just lived, and we would go like do workouts together every day,
and we just run around
and hang out, and it was so much fun. And we also like gone on so many fun trips together, and us being able to make content together, it feels weird honestly, because when you think of our job as content creators, I feel like it's just been very natural over the years.
Oh.
Like everything that we post, it's because like it's something that we're actually doing in the moment. So it makes it feel less of like a
It doesn't even
job.
feel like it's a job or like we're like going out specifically to like create content. We just kind of like live our life and film it at the same time.
Yeah, which I feel so grateful for because like if we go on a trip and we vlog the trip, it's just like Emma and I spending time together, but also showing what we're doing on YouTube for you guys to see. And it's just been like a really cool experience. And honestly, I feel like ever since we were little, like before our social media era, we even did the same thing. Like we would go on trips with our family and we would be like doing the same stuff we do now, like
Not
taking
even-
pictures. Like for who though?
Not even trips with our family every single Sunday. This was like 2017, maybe 2016. We would have our mom drive. We lived on Cape Cod, which was like an hour and 30 minutes outside of Boston.
Well,
And-
I was in college, so I would call you and Mom, hi.
Well, we'd pick you up on
Come
the
pick
way,
me up.
but Mom and I would leave the Cape, go pick you up, and we'd drive to Boston on a Sunday. We would shop. We'd go to Tate. We'd take photos in front of brick walls, specifically brick walls, and post them to our normal, like, 1,000 followers on Instagram that were
Like the people
friends from high
who
school.
literally were people that we
And
knew in real life.
my captions were like, "Hi guys, love you," like all this stuff, and it was just my friends from high school, like kids from my town. But like we acted like we were
like we acted like we had this
reason.
like huge audience of people that like wanted to see our outfits and what we were doing. Like I feel like we made it a thing to get like dressed up, wear really cute outfits, and just take. We would literally be like, let's go to Boston and take pictures, and that's what we would do. And I feel like also that's why we have kind of gotten to know like all the good spots from us like practicing over the years, like before this was even our job.
Yeah.
Which it's crazy. I feel like it was destined to be because we've just always
It's
done
just
like
been
this.
natural.
Also, it's so funny to look back. Like sometimes Emma and I will lay in bed at night. Well, we don't live together anymore, but when we used to live together, she would sleep in my bed and we would just like look at pictures and be like, oh my God, remember this? Like guys, if you go back on our Instagram to like 2016,
There's a photo
you
of
need
us
to go
laying with leaves.
That's what I was just
And
gonna
I was wearing a fur vest in gold shoes
Emma,
and a flannel.
that's the picture I was gonna say. We would like
We
have our
hold
moms
hands.
make these pictures of us. Please go back and look at these pictures so you know what we're talking about because they're so iconic and funny.
And we were vegan too, so that was like a
Oh my
huge
God,
part of it.
you were vegan.
Oh.
But I like supported your veganism. But it was just so funny and yeah. Okay. Anyway. I just feel like there's so much that has gone on like behind the scenes of us like actually vlogging, whether it's like on trips or like real life like stuff that people like our audience just hasn't seen. And I feel like that's one of the things that we wanted to like touch upon in this podcast was just like stuff that has happened on
Like,
trips
people-
that
things
like
people don't know
people
about.
hasn't seen. Okay, what has been your favorite memory of us like on a trip?
On a trip?
Like a trip that we vlogged. What has been your favorite memory? Like
That
a
no one
really
knows
funny one
about?
that no one knows about. I know what
No,
mine is.
I
so
know what
you
mine
can-
is. I hope
I think
yours
I
is
know
the
what
same.
I think I know what yours is gonna be.
No, I don't even know I can say it. It was last winter.
Okay, no, I already knew.
We
I
went to
already knew.
Chicago. We vlogged the whole entire trip. It was so much fun. We visited our two friends that live out there. We would go, like, oh my gosh, all the time. We went all last summer, and we went a couple times in the winter. And so this specific time in the winter, we went, and...
Are you gonna say the part about us walking up the stairs? So basically, one of our other friends happened to be there too, and we were staying like at a different hotel as our other friend, but it was literally right across the street. So we run over because he's like, come hang out. I'm with my friend. So we got to give them names. We have Jeremy, who's our friend. Jeremy is our friend, the one that we were
Yeah.
going to go see, and Jeremy was hanging out with Robert. So Jeremy and Robert are sitting in their
Those
hotel
aren't
room.
their names, by the way.
Yeah, those
are
aren't
just,
their
like,
names. Those
completely
are made up. And so Jeremy and Robert are sitting in the hotel room, like fireplace on,
like
hanging out,
come
like
hang out.
watching
We miss
TV.
you guys. Like,
Just come say hi.
let's come say hi. So Maggie and I run across the street to their hotel, and we get to the hotel. You need a room key to get up. They can't leave their room.
Because Jeremy and Robert are there for work. And if Jeremy and Robert's boss found out that they left their room to go let these two girls into the elevator up to the 17th
They
floor,
get like in trouble.
they would get in so much trouble.
So they were on floor 17. And Maggie and I run to the
Picture us
elevators.
running through the Waldorf Astoria Hotel in downtown Chicago to the elevator. We get in.
We get in because someone else is in there. The guy had a room key, and he like went up to his floor. Went up to the 10th floor, and we asked him, we're like, do you mind just like putting the room key up to the little thingy, the little whatever, and hit room 17 or floor 17. And
He didn't speak English.
Did not speak a lick of English. He looked at us and he just put his arms up. He was like, I literally have no idea what you're saying. So we were like, okay, great. We get off at floor 10. We take the stairs.
Mind you, this is like 12 o'clock at night, and I have on my Aritzia puffer.
I have on like a huge Sherpa in Uggs.
And I'm sweating from the 10th floor to the 17th floor.
7 flights of stairs. We literally
Oh my god, we have
tracked
videos
17.
on our Snapchat, memories of us like, and we were like floor 16, floor 17.
We were like
it
out
was
of breath
so
when we
funny.
got to the top. That's probably one of my favorite memories that we've never talked about or shared.
I think mine would have to be, like, the one that just comes to mind is when you and I were vegan. This was, like, in our prime food combining vegan era when we were,
Oh boy.
if you know, you know, if you've been a follower for a long time, like, we were really strict with, like, what we ate, and we were super vegan and, like, healthy. And we were on a trip in Hawaii with our old management company. It's not, like, an old management trip. Like, it's not a management company trip. It was literally, like, us
A brand
and
trip, basically.
not a brand trip, but we would like go on these trips. So to give you guys a background, we would go on these trips with our old management company that we were with for the first 3 years of us doing social media, and a lot of our other friends were also signed with this management company. So the main guy who owned the company would coordinate these trips, and we would go basically like wherever we wanted to go. Like you, me, and Gretchen would be like, we want to go here. So we went to Hawaii, and it's fall 2019, and on the trip there are four of the guys that worked for the management company, and then me, Gretchen, Emma, and Kenzie. So there's 4 girls, 4 guys, and we're at our hotel. This is like probably 5-6 days into the trip. We were there for like 12 days. We were so hungry. We wanted to eat dinner, but everybody else that we were with on the trip wanted to go to this like famous burger shack. And I remember being disgusted. I'm like, a burger? Like I looked at the menu. I'm like, okay, well, they don't have like a vegan burger. They don't have a bean burger. They don't have anything like that. So I'm like, God forbid we can't find any vegan food on this island. Like, we're going to starve. So Em and I were like, you know what? We don't want to ruin this for you guys. Like, we know that you guys really want to try this burger place. So you guys go and we'll go find food at the hotel. Like, we'll just walk around and we'll find food. We end up like walking outside to the tiki bar. We're sitting out there. We're looking at the menu. There's nothing that we want, but we were getting spicy margaritas at the bar. And they were not IDing us because somebody was not 21 yet. So we're sitting there and I was like, I really want a spicy margarita. And you were like, okay. So we like ordered spicy margaritas. And so we were just like, okay, this is great. Like we're on vacation. Let's like go inside though and go to the real restaurant and sit down and see if we can get food. Remember Tiger was our waiter?
Tiger. He made us a Tiger special margaritas.
We had this waiter named Tiger. We sit down at the table and he's like, okay, what do you guys want to drink? We look at each other. We're like, spicy margarita. And so he comes over. Guys, I am not kidding you guys. This margarita, picture one of those like big, tall glasses that if you sit down at like a pub, you order a beer and it comes out in that. That is what the spicy margarita came in. Like the tallest glass I've ever seen. I think that it must have been like 16 ounces.
Like 24.
Like 24. Yeah, no, it was like 24 ounces.
Glass.
It was a huge glass. We're sitting there. We obviously finally find our vegan food to eat, and we ordered like a pizza or something and french fries, whatever, a salad, and we got these big margaritas, and I just remember like drinking it, and it was so funny because they were so big and I just could not get over like how large they were. And then I was like really tipsy after, and me and Emma were just like running through the hallways like of this hotel in Hawaii, and it was so fun. Yeah, I feel like, but on like the topic of stories and like things that we haven't talked about online, like what is your, I guess, like top thing that you feel like people wouldn't know about me? And then I'm going to answer it about you, and then we can also answer it about ourselves.
Okay.
But I'm just curious to think, like, to hear what your perception of me would be.
That people don't know about?
Like something that people don't know about me based on the way that I like vlog versus how I am in real life.
I would probably say that on the vlog, Maggie seems very serious and
Serious?
very put together. not that you're not put together. You are.
Okay, Jess says that too. Jess says that too. Like
your
Kenzie
vlogs
Burke used to say that
your
about me
vlogs
too.
are very like that. She kind of scares me.
Like, I'm
she's
scared.
So like type A. She's not like that in person. Like, but she is. She is to an extent. But that's the thing. Like, she is, but she's also so normal and like funny and silly and carefree. And
I don't know. I
you're
feel
like
like it's
funny.
just my
Like, you're just like
personality.
you're funny and you're like loud. You're loud. Like, I'd have to say like you're very funny and loud. Like the times that like we would go out and stuff with like me and Graydon, I would know like you had like a few drinks because you'd be like loud. Like, you were like funny.
My
loud.
voice completely changes.
Yeah, and you just like are very, very funny. Not as strict as you look online, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But,
I
like,
even
you're
feel that way about myself too.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I'm like, I wish I could show this other side. Not that I'm not authentic. I really wish that I could just show this like unfiltered, silly side of me. But if I set up the camera and do it, it feels so forced. Like, I think that I would need like a reality
We
TV
always
show so
say-
the cameras could just be following along and I
Yeah.
could just be saying what I would really say in real life.
We always say that we wish we had cameras on us at all times because it's like, it's not the same when you turn on the camera, you're not just gonna be like throwing out the jokes.
I know.
But when the camera's off, like, you throw out the jokes and you throw out the funniness and you'll just be like running around crazy. And she's always naked.
Emma! I don't know why. I've always been like that since I was little. Like, I just feel, I don't know, like clothes just bother me for some reason. Like, I really always am. I don't know why. Like, the second if I'm at a hotel,
Oh my God.
like the second I get back to the room, like I have to just take all my clothes off and like lay in bed on my phone. My friends are always like, you can ask any of my friends, Graydon, Jess, Kenzie Burke, like all of them
Everybody.
would be like, Maggie, you literally never have clothes on. I'm like, I know, I don't know why. But it's just like a normal thing. Like, it's not like weird or anything. I don't know. It's just normal. Okay, this is how I feel about you, the way that you are in your videos. I almost feel like you think way too much and you overanalyze way too much about everything. Like, you, I feel like, set up the camera and you don't want to say the wrong thing and you don't want to like offend anybody, or you don't want to, I don't even know what it is, but you seem like you just are too stunned to speak sometimes. I'm like, Emma, like, you don't have to be so like worried. Like, loosen up and just like be you, because in person, like, you just are so just chill and funny, and like just seeing the way that you are like around me, like when we're alone, like you just seem so much more relaxed and you don't think so much about like what you're gonna say, you know, which is why I'm glad that we're doing this show.
Yeah.
Because I completely understand, because I can't imagine starting YouTube when I was in high school and like starting it during a time where I'm like growing and like finding myself so much as a person, and also like not having the same experiences as like I did. I just feel like you have had like a different.
I feel like the second I started YouTube, I had like someone in my ear basically saying like I couldn't talk about certain things and like couldn't be a certain way online. So I just like I wasn't like that.
Filtered.
Yeah, very filtered.
But in real life, you guys, Emma is very funny. Like, you're really funny, and I just picture you driving around in your car with the music up loud. I don't know, you also like drive, like not like you drive fast. Like, she's like drives so fast. When my boyfriend
I have
and
the worst road rage.
Yeah, and when my boyfriend and I first met, we were walking our dogs together through Boston, and Emma was on her way home, and she was walking by us.
I drove by.
She drove by, and he goes, "Oh my God, it's your sister," and I'm like, "Yeah," and then we see her, she rolls on the window, she waves, and then it's like, she like speeds off into the sunset. I'm like, bye. Like, you're just so funny, and I really hope that this podcast inspires you to open up more, which I completely feel like I know how you feel, because when I first started YouTube to now, I think that I am different than I used to be, because I definitely think so much before I talk. Like, I watch my old videos and I'm like, what? I had so much to say.
Insane.
And I would say whatever was on my mind, whatever I was thinking. Like, if I was sad about something, I was an oversharer too. Like, I definitely would just set up the camera and be like, blah, 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 blah. Like, this is what happened. This is what's bothering me. And now I'm like, I feel like I'm very cautious about what I say and what I do and what I show, which I don't want to be like that anymore, because also I feel like I've noticed that some people will comment and be like, you have changed so much, like, you're not the same as you were like when I started watching you a few years ago. And it's like, also I feel like it's been hard to like sit down and actually talk about in a YouTube video that when you are having thousands and thousands of people watching your every move and what you're doing every single day and like what's going on in your life, like, this is our real life. And over the years, like, every time someone picks apart something, it's like you get more reserved and more reserved.
That's what I was gonna say, because when we first started, we didn't have people really picking on us.
And I feel like another thing that I do want to talk about that I've never talked about before on YouTube is that with getting bigger on social media comes obviously brand deals because that's part of your job, is to get sponsored by brands, and then you are just making money just like shopping and showing products, which is something that I really want to do less of because I feel like it's such like a lazy way out of content. Like making content, I just feel like sitting down and being like, okay, this is everything that I bought today. It's just an easy way to just like make content just showing people products, but I feel like I never used to do that in the past because I was just way more like open and comfortable. And over the years, I feel like, especially with COVID, when everybody was inside, just like on their computers and scared about what was going on in the world, a lot of people did take out their fears on influencers. And I have heard other people talk about it that just COVID made them like made the way that they post on social media change. And I feel like that definitely happened with me. So anyway,
Maggie and I both put a little question box on our Instagram stories, and we had a ton of you ask a bunch of questions, and so this is the time that we're gonna answer all those questions. Every week we will put one up and we will tell you guys what the topic of the podcast is going to be so that you guys can ask questions directed to that podcast. But I feel like we got so many great questions.
We got so many. And also a lot of the questions I feel like have inspired us with different topics, because you even texted me, you're like, gotta make a topic about this, gotta make a dedicated episode about this.
There were so many, like it was so helpful. So thank you guys for that. It's really, really helpful. So make sure obviously go to our Instagrams and watch out for that each week.
And I think going along everything that we have talked about in this episode, how do you think our career has made us closer? Because I feel like growing up, like we were close. Like my freshman year of college, I went home every single weekend and I would hang out with you because I was in a relationship with somebody and he like didn't like when I went to parties, so I literally would get picked up by my dad every Friday and I would go to the Cape until Sunday or Monday morning, and Emma and I would hang out. So we were like close before we started doing YouTube, but that's like was more in our era of us like taking pictures and just like building a foundation to what we do now.
I think it made us closer because this was such an unknown that we got into. It's not like you start doing social media and people give you like, you read a book and it tells you like how to do it. No one knows how to do it. So we kind of just like navigated that together from the beginning. So then we always had each other through new experiences that will come up and things that made it difficult at the start, or even things that no one in our life would really understand unless it was each other, because a lot of the time, like say we're getting hate or say like it's something to do with a contract or whatever, I can't like go to my mom and be like, oh, like this is happening, because she like doesn't understand. Like you're the only one that really understands, or like other people in the industry.
I agree. And I also think that with us both having the same career, it has completely changed. Well, it has completely changed our life, because if we didn't do YouTube, you would be in college and you would have graduated high school, gone off to college, like had your own...
I'd be in college right now, like as you speak.
Exactly, with your own little life at your college, and I would be in Boston having my own little life, and we wouldn't have done anything we've done over the past 5 years. So I think that it has just made us so much closer because we've lived together in a time where we probably normally wouldn't have lived together because of our age difference. Me graduating college and moving to the city, and then you being in college, like still we would have two completely different lives. And then who knows what you would have done for a job after. You probably would have gone and moved somewhere for your job. You just would be living separate lives, which is sad. I just feel like it's made us so much closer, like in a really, really good way. And I'm very excited, and I know we talk about this all the time, to like talk about this time of our life with our kids. Yeah, it's not every day that you get to go to work with your sister. So it's been really fun. So question number 2, how do you carry yourself with confidence and deal with comparison?
I feel like this is such a hard thing. It's like literally like walking on ice. I feel like we have access to literally everything. We have access to so many different people all over across the world that it's so easy to get on your phone every single day and compare yourself to someone else doing what you're doing, or someone else on social media, or your friends, or whatever, someone's life that looks amazing and whatnot. But you just have to remember that at the end of the day, the only thing that matters to begin with is you and your life. And also, not everyone's life is as perfect as it is on social media. Like there have been times I've posted on social media looking so happy, but like at the end of the day, like I am like sad, you know? So it's like not everything you see on social media is real. So I feel like that's definitely helped with like dealing with comparison and stuff, but carrying yourself with confidence.
An empowering feeling.
Yeah,
and I feel the same way. I think that in order to carry yourself with confidence, I also think that the main part of that is definitely keeping the promises that you make to yourself and having
Yeah.
a really good routine. Things that make you feel good though. That's the most important part, is that you can look online and see all of these other people with all these routines and things that they do every day to make them feel good and make them happy. It's like you have to find what works for you, because that is what is ultimately going to make you feel your best, make you the most confident. And also it goes along with what you're wearing too. Something that I have really been in touch with over the past few years is dressing for my body type, because it just makes me so much more confident when I'm comfy and I see all these cute outfits online. I'm like, oh, I want to, like, I wish I could wear that. It wouldn't make me feel comfortable, wouldn't make me confident. Like I've always had an athletic build. Like I just have a really athletic body type, and my legs and my butt are like bigger than my top half of my body. Like that's just the only way to put it. So I've always been like insecure growing up about my legs and stuff, and I would always be super uncomfortable like wearing denim shorts or like little mini dresses, because they would always ride up, and I would find myself in the past comparing myself to other girls, and also like trying to work out for hours and hours every single week, trying to change my body to be a version of myself that my body naturally just like wasn't going to be like. So I feel like just embracing the way that you are built and the way that you were created, and just kind of like focusing on that, is what is going to just make you feel so confident. Like dressing for your body type and doing workouts that make your body feel good, doing things that make you feel good. And then I feel like everything else just starts to flow, and you can't compare yourself to other people because everybody's so different and we were all created so differently. But that's like the beauty of life, because think of how boring it would be if we were all the exact same. I even feel like now with TikTok coming into the social media world, it has made everybody be the exact same, because everyone buys the same products, everyone does the same things. They see a trend on TikTok, it's like everyone does it. You know what I mean? Like I'm also guilty of it. Like I have definitely done a lot of the trends as well, but then it makes me be like, this is so boring and weird. Like we all need to just like be unique and be us. Question number 3, if you had to pick a different career path, what would it be?
I always tell people this. I would be a history teacher. So random, but like in high school, I loved history, and I loved like, oh my god, I could go on and on. But I would be a history teacher specifically for juniors in high school.
I think that I just would want to like stay in the fashion industry. Like I probably would want to be like a stylist, or honestly be like a buyer for people, like a buyer for either a company or work for really rich people who don't know how to dress and just like use their credit card and buy them clothes. Like that would be my dream. If I could pick a career that had nothing to do with fashion or anything that I do on YouTube, I probably would want to be like a teacher because I like love kids. And in high school I was in the child development program, and then my junior year we had a preschool at my school and I was in the preschool, and then my senior year I did an internship in a 3rd grade classroom. This one teacher would ask this question in high school. She'd be like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I would always be like, I just want to be a mom. Like I just love kids. I love like talking to them, like helping them, and I would want probably to be a teacher just to like make my students like probably elementary school, because I would want my kids to be like confident and just like so themselves, and I would tell them every day like how proud I am of them and that I just like never want them to change. So on that note, we are gonna end off the show. Yay! We did it! Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I hope that you guys liked it. This was so much fun. I feel like I could have kept talking for hours.
I don't want it to end.
Thank God for next week. You guys can follow us along on social media. My Instagram is at Maggie MacDonald, MAGGIE MACDONALD.
And
my YouTube is Maggie MacDonald.
My Instagram is Emma MacDonald.
And also make sure that you look on Instagram next week for the questions, so you can send in a question if you want it to be answered on our little Q&A. Yeah, thank you guys so much for listening. We're so excited, and we will see you guys next week.
Be sure to subscribe and listen on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts.
Love you guys
Love
so
you so
much.
much.
Bye.
Bye.